Hey there folks, Aldershot here, and today we're going to preview The Culling. It's developed by Xaviant, and it will be available on March the 8th. I managed to get an early alpha key, if you will, so we're going to just check out the game a little bit ahead of schedule, I guess, but I just want to show you some of the features of the game that's currently in The Culling, which, by the way, when it will be released to the public, it will be in early access, so do keep that in mind. So currently you can build up your characters a little bit with a perk system, you know, bloodbath, maniac, and kind of build your character to a certain kind of specialty, whether it be range or melee or bleed or defensive, etc, etc. You know, you got your range stats, I guess, and perks and all that stuff here too, utility, etc, etc. Let's see, there's also airdrop perks, and you can change your character's outfit and all that kind of fancy stuff. One of the rewards of the game when you're complete is actually, you know, extra visual gimmicky stuff, you know, like new pants, new hats, a bandana, etc, right? But there you go, that's some of the rewards that you can potentially get from the game. But anyways, let's just jump into a game right here. I've already played a good few rounds of it. I'm about 2 hours in, but I'm pretty horrible at the game, I'll be completely honest. I went through the practice mode and kind of got a feel of the game. We're not going to do that in this video, but there are two modes to play currently, free-for-all or teams. I play teams. I'm not really a big fan of it, to be completely honest. Each player will get their own individual partners, and there'll be multiple groups of partners trying to kill each other. I much prefer the free-for-all mode. There might be more modes when it comes out, I don't know. Like I said, it will be out in early access, so who really knows? So we're just going to jump into the free-for-all match here. We'll be in queue. Usually the queue, from my experience, will last anywhere between 30 seconds to 2 minutes, depending on the current game's population, right? As I'm sure once the game actually comes out into the public, it will be a little bit quicker, as there'll be more people playing, right? But something about the game, I do want to mention that this is more of a let's play. This is not an impression or review or anything of that sort. I will be talking about the game, its features. I might give some of my opinions because I'm just an opinionated person, but this isn't a formal impression or review. And there's a very good reason for that. This is actually developed by Xaviant, in which I actually know a few of the developers, right? Not like, we're not like best buddies or anything like that, but I've met them in real life before. These guys are the same people that brought us a Lichdom, which is an interesting little action battle mage game, if you will. And yeah, they had a fan event where they actually flew a few fans of the game to Atlanta, where their studio is based, and kind of check out the game and meet the team members and stream the game with the team members and all that kind of stuff. And I was a part of that, right? So because of that, you know, it could be perceived that I have a potential bias, so I'm not going to give a formal impression on the game for this reason. However, I did manage to get a preview build. I do want to show you guys what this game's all about. Currently, I have about 2 hours experience into it, right? And I will kind of talk about the features and mechanics and all that kind of stuff, of course. I might give my opinion here and there, but again, this isn't a review or impression. I just happen to be an opinionated person, and when I talk about a game, I'm generally kind of opinionated about the game, so it just naturally happens, okay? But because I kind of know some of the developers, do take it with a pinch of salt, and I do want to remind you folks, this is more of a let's play, right? So we're still in queue. Unfortunately, this is going to be one of the longer wait sessions. Of course, it happens when I'm actually recording, which is a bit unfortunate, but I guess, you know, c'est la vie. I think I already showed you guys some of the features of the game, the loadouts, the settings. Actually, I guess I can show you the settings while we're waiting in queue here. So this is the settings. It's actually pretty robust for the most part. You got your anti-aliasing, you got your post-processing, shadows, view distance, etc, etc. The core features as far as video settings are concerned. Jeez, we're still waiting in queue. Here we go. We're jumping in now. That was one of the longer queue sessions, to be fair. Usually I get in sometime after 1 minute's time. And again, I think once this game comes out into the public, the queue will actually be shortened, right? Anyways, this is, by the way, I should have probably mentioned this earlier. This is a multiplayer competitive survival game, right? Think H1Z1's Battle Royale, but in a much more refined, or at least you're trying to go for a more refined version of it, right? Something that's a little bit more dedicated to it. So you are in a smaller map because of that. You have 20 minutes to kill everyone on the map. And I think there's 15 players per match. Now, something interesting is you can't actually just hit tab to see the score. You have to look up in the sky to see who's alive, who's winning, etc., etc. Which I thought was kind of cool, kind of immersive, you know. The whole premise of this game, the Culling, is that you're actually in a survival reality show where we're basically trying to kill each other and is being broadcasted to the world. You might see some flickering. I don't know what's up with that. That's not actually my recording. That's actually the game. But keep in mind, this game will be in early access and that this is still the pre-alpha build. So some glitches here and there is probably to be expected. Yeah, I'm getting some tears here and there. There's another one. There's some more. Anyways, let's craft some stuff together. There you go. Great. Now we got a little bit of a trap going on here. We're going to try and be sneaky. We're going to make a bow gun. Just like that. If you're wondering, the FUNC, or the funk system, that is basically your points, your crafting points. The more funk points you have, the more stuff you can craft.
The enemy was just speared to death, if that makes sense. Speared.
So it looks like somebody already died, which is unfortunate. Let's see who that is. Sergierbok. Is that even a name? Anyways, here's a funk barrel, so let's grab some of that so we can craft more stuff. As I mentioned, the funk system is essentially how much you can craft. Right now we got a bow gun, or not bow gun, a blow dart gun. There we go. So that will poison people if we can manage to find anybody and get them sick so we can get in a few whacks here and there. Let's craft ourselves a bandage, and from the bandage we can craft ourselves a backpack which will extend our inventory, right? Here we go, a satchel. We only have 3 slots originally. You can see in the bottom left hand corner, but if I hit 2 and use our newly made satchel, now we have 4 slots available to us, which will of course be useful. Anyways, we have a blow gun, but we need something a little bit more powerful to actually do any damage. It looks like there's a building up ahead. Let's check out what's in there and hopefully find something useful. And by the way, you can hit escape and they'll show you all the crafting recipes, right? This game's definitely more of a competitive, like, tournament game or a competitive multiplayer game than a survival game. I kind of look at it as a Halo meets H1Z1. You know, it's definitely a lot more competitive focus than survival. However, there's definitely a lot of survival elements involved, right? You don't have to worry about eating or drinking or anything like that, but, you know, crafting and trying to find resources for crafting and surviving the enemy attacks, obviously, is going to be your main goal. Well, that plus killing all the other enemies as well. Let's see. There's some health stations and a recycling station. It doesn't look like anyone's... Oh, yeah, somebody definitely already ransacked this place. Everything's open, so we gotta be careful here. These are crates that require certain funk points or certain amount of funk points in order to open, and we just don't have enough to open them. So we need an explosive to open that one. Okay. So we're gonna just try and be sneaky. Maybe we can sneak up behind somebody. Hopefully, anyways. Oh, I hear something. Okay, nobody. That actually might be a good thing, because we're not all that well equipped. Let's get the hell out of here, actually. Fall damage isn't too significant. I haven't actually suffered fall damage. You can actually fall from a pretty high height before you actually suffer any fall damage. So, yeah. Anyways, nobody yet, which is actually not a bad thing. Again, because we're really under-equipped. I can't even find the bare basic stuff like sticks and rocks. So let's make ourselves some sticks. Just like Minecraft, you punch a tree to get the wood. You know? If you have a weapon, it'll take a shorter time to get the wood. We got the wood, I just don't know where it went. Anyways, I'm getting some screen tearing here, so let's try this one here. We do have to be careful, because if somebody kills us, that's pretty much it. That's game over for us. Each round will last about 20 minutes. Actually, not about. It will last exactly 20 minutes. After the 10-minute mark, I believe the map actually starts getting smaller and smaller and smaller, essentially forcing the players to meet up eventually. But it looks like we found a dead player's grave, and we can collect some funk points out of that, which will help us craft, of course. So we'll grab that. Nobody yet. This is definitely a game you kind of want to play with your volume up. Mainly because you want to hear footsteps. That's really the main thing. I want the rock, actually. I don't really want this. How do I throw this again? There we go. That's right. Middle mouse button. Pick up the rock. I want to get 2 rocks. No, not this. So that way I can craft myself a knife. That's what I really want. Lots of sticks, but hard to find rocks, apparently. Sneaky, sneaky. Alright, here we go. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Alright. Now we got a melee weapon. Good. I don't really know if the poison dart actually does too much damage, if any at all. I know it makes people sick, which essentially stuns them for a few seconds, which is not a bad thing. What happens when we make... Ooh, we make a hatchet. We combine 3 rocks, which we will do. I believe I even perked my character up to be efficient with the hatchets, or axes in general, so we'll whip that out. We'll pick up the branch. Actually, what I want to do, we'll throw that away. I want to make another knife and then get a branch, because then we can make a spear that way, right? But apparently rocks are kind of rare, at least in this instance of the game. I like the premise of the game too, the idea that it's in a game show. It really adds a lot of immersion and a lot of context to what's going on with the world, right? Anyways, there's a rock up here, so we'll grab that. Hopefully nobody sees us. It's actually pretty dangerous to be out in the open on top of a mountain or a hill like this, as we can be spotted by anybody, which is not what we want. We'll pick up the grave here to get more points because we need it. The funk points. Killing people obviously gets you funk points. Finding graves will get you funk points. Finding certain items like funk barrels, I guess, will give you funk points. So yeah, funk points for all. And funk points are good. Because without funk points, there's no crafting. Without crafting, there's no weapons. Well, that's not true. You can find weapons too. We just haven't found any yet. Okay, we got a spear now. Great. Oh, there's a guy. He doesn't see us. Oh, he sees us. He sees us. He sees us. He's going to try and blow dart us. So we will try and blow dart him. And we got him. Oh, shit. He got us. You know what? Let's get some distance on him. Okay, he's just as poisonous as I am. So... Oh, God. I'm puking. And now he's puking. But he also has a stun gun, which isn't something we want. Let's get out of here. I'm not ready to die. Okay, running away is not a good idea when you're sick. Never mind. Ah, damn it, I missed. The worst thing is you can pick up that... Okay, I'll pick it up then. I don't like this guy. I got him. No, I didn't. Okay, now I did. Come at me, brother. He likes that stun gun. Doesn't do a lot of damage though. And my hatchet does. There is a stamina bar too. Brother, I am perked for a hatchet. You can block too, and that'll stun you, so you gotta keep that in mind. You can also push enemies, which will counter blocks. Right? So it's a pretty interesting combat system. It has a little bit of a rock, paper, scissors mechanic going for it. Block will counter attacks, push will counter blocks, and attacks will counter pushes. This is not good, to be honest. Ugh. Oh, damn it. We died. Well, let's spectate and see what everyone else is doing so I can give you an idea of how the rest of the game will play out. So something I should probably mention is that I'm not really the greatest at PvP when it comes to survival games. That's why in H1Z1 I played like one game of Battle Royale ever and never really liked it. I much prefer the PvE elements. And this is also why I prefer the Long Dark, because it's 100% PvE and single player even. I kind of gave up playing multiplayer survival games, but I can make it a little exception for this one because, like I said, it is definitely much closer to, say, Halo than to DayZ, right? In that it's definitely more of a multiplayer competitive game rather than purely a survival game. Oh, look at these two! Look at these two assholes! This is a free-for-all, and they're working together. They definitely know each other, and they're being dicks about it. Oh my, oh my. They should just play a team game if they're going to be like this. This is a bit of an unfair advantage, I think. Hell, next time I'm going to bring in like 5 of my friends with this game, and yeah, we'll see how the game plays out then. Mother liquor. Look at these guys working together. Like they're butt buddies or something. But yeah, I had a pretty good time playing this game for the last couple of hours. But like I said, you know, I'll be completely honest, it's not like my favorite game in the whole wide world. Not that it's bad or anything, it's just not really the genre that I completely enjoy playing. Like I mentioned, when I play survival games, I generally like PvE. That's again why I like the Long Dark mostly. But yeah, I mean, it's just an interesting little experiment, you know? The idea of focusing in on that multiplayer competitive element of the survival game genre, right? That's a little bit different, you know? Most survival games, even the more competitive ones like H1Z1, they're still pretty PvE oriented, with PvP as sort of a side thing, whereas this one is purely PvP as its focus, right? With PvE as actually just no PvE at all. There's some survival aspects with the crafting and the searching and the exploring and all that kind of stuff, but it's not like you need to drink water to refill your hydration or anything like that. Although, you know, I think if this game really wants to focus in on that survival elements of this genre that's trying to go for, maybe in the future, because this is going to be coming out in early access, maybe they can consider throwing in actual survival elements like dehydration, like hunger, maybe even being tired and sleepy. Although the rounds are only 20 minutes long, so maybe that part could be cut out and stay out kind of thing, right? I am curious to know what the DayZ and the H1Z1 community will think about the culling, though. Mainly because, again, it's focused so much on the multiplayer versus elements rather than the actual survival elements, right? Which is definitely a little bit of a different take. Now this game's running on the Unreal 4 engine, so the graphics look pretty good. Looks pretty good. I would imagine it only to be improved as the game progresses out of early access. Although I have to admit, some of the animations are a little janky in my opinion. But you know, pre-alpha, early access, etc., etc. But I think it's worth mentioning. You know, like I don't know, just kind of move a little stiff, especially when they're running. Hey, it's like their back is completely straight and pretty stiff in my opinion. But it's not the worst looking animations I've ever seen, but it's definitely not the best either. But the environments look pretty good, hey? The lighting, the textures, you know, the foliage and all that kind of stuff. And one thing I really liked about the game is the overall concept in its theme, you know? I like the idea of an outdoors reality game show in which everyone's hunting each other down. Would never happen in real life. Too much of an insurance liability, but sure is a lot of fun to play in a video game, though. Alright, so let's see how these guys are doing. Now, the unfortunate thing about, you know, keeping the score immersive and in the sky and having to look for actual scoreboards and all that stuff is it does make it a little bit harder to actually check on the score and who's alive sometimes. But maybe that's kind of part of the mechanics and gameplay. I'm not really sure. But it would be nice if I could just hit tab and see who's actually alive and how many people's actually alive when I'm dead. You know, there's no need to be immersed into the game when I'm dead, right? I just want to see what the hell's going on. I do actually like watching the rest of the match even when I die early, in which we're doing right now. But it's probably for the better. I'm not the greatest PvP survivalist. These guys are definitely much better than I am, so you can probably get a better idea of how to play the game watching these guys than actually watching me. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm just not that great at PvP survival. I like the PvE element, like I mentioned, like already. Look at these guys working together like a pair of jackasses. That's not how you play free-for-all, guys. This is cheating. Pure cheating. This is not cool. Honestly, that is definitely going to be something I think the developers should consider when they're doing free-for-all. You know? What happens when a group of people in free-for-all decides to work together? I guess, I don't know. I guess it could be argued that maybe that's smart, maybe that's part of the mechanics, the social aspect of the mechanics, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. It just seems kind of cheesy to me. You know, if they're working together pair by pair, they might as well play team free-for-all or team game instead. But they're playing a free-for-all game and they're working together, which is, again, kind of cheesy. Admittedly, I've done it in games like Chivalry, okay? My brother, myself, and a friend, all three of us went into a free-for-all game and started hacking and slashing at everybody except for each other. So we were kind of cheeseballing, and I have to admit that's kind of fun being the cheeseball. But when you're fighting against the cheeseballs, it's frustrating. Anyways, let's stop watching the cheeseball players. Let's actually see what actual players that's playing by the game's spirit or the game's original design is doing. So it looks like these two are fighting. Look, as you can see, we're past the halfway mark, so the map is shrinking. If you actually exit the borders, you'll get poisoned by, as you can clearly see, the poison cloud, right? I think I can still show you a fair amount of the game's mechanics through watching these guys. I kind of went over the crafting and all that stuff. I kind of talked about the combat and how blocking counters punching, and punching counters pushing, and pushing counters blocking, right? And that guy's dead. Oh, by the team workers, by the cheese balls. Again, of course. I hope they don't make it. I hope they die. I'll be honest. I'm kind of pissed off that they're working together in a free-for-all game. This guy's crafting something. I'm just not quite sure what. Oh, he's making a bandage. He's definitely making a bandage. Which is probably smart, to be honest. But it does take up his funk points, so it comes with a cost. Nothing is free in this game. Here comes the cheese balls again. Both of them, of course. I'm just trying to look at the score. Here we go. How many? There's only 3 alive. The 2 cheese balls and this one guy. I'm rooting for this one guy, even though I think he's the one that killed me. I still rather him win. At least he's playing as a free-for-all, not as a team thing. Whatever that they're doing. Go get him. Hakuna Matata. I like your name. Lion King's pretty good, man. It's pretty good. Yeah, stab him, man. Stab him real good. Yeah, blocking is a little bit. I wouldn't say it's OP, but it's really, really powerful. You know, if you stab somebody who's blocked, you're stunned for like a good second. You know, a good second and a half even. So the opponent can definitely get in a couple of good jabs if you happen to attack a block attack. So you're going to want to be careful about that. They're probably going to tweak some of the mechanics as they go, because Lichdom also came out in early access by the same guys from Xaviant, and they made a lot of tweaks. And something about Xaviant, from my experience, from actually talking to him in real life and also doing coverage on Lichdom before I actually met him, they do actually take feedback very, very seriously. They listen to the community, and they tend to kind of trial and error things, you know. If they don't like it, they'll change it back, kind of thing. At least that's what they did with Lichdom. And I would imagine them to be doing the same with the Culling as well. So, yeah, good guys, but, again, take what I say about them with a pinch of salt. I've met them in real life, so there could be a perceived bias because of that reason, right? But, anyways, I think the game's over. Everyone's dead, except for Rumble. He's the winner. One of the damn cheese ballers. So, c'est la vie to that, I guess. But anyways, we lost. We didn't get any reward, because I think we died too early, which is a bit unfortunate. But usually, if you complete certain tasks, like surviving for so long or killing so many people, you get a reward. Usually, like a piece of clothing or something not too important, like a cosmetic item. That's the term I was looking for. But anyways, guys, this is the Culling. It will be available to the public on March the 8th, and it is by Xaviant. I'm not really sure how much it will cost, okay? But it will be out in early access on March 8th. So hopefully we'll see each other online, and if you're playing free-for-all, don't work together, for God's sake. There's a mode for that. Don't be a cheese ball. Anyways, folks, thanks for watching. Hopefully you folks enjoyed this. And if you did, show me some love, like, share, favorite, and comments. And if you haven't, subscribe. Hit that little red button. Help this little channel grow into something a little bit larger. Thanks so much, everyone. Aldershot out.